Hello everyone, welcome back to Believers IAS Academy, Bengaluru. This is the NCERT discussion, and today we are continuing the NCERT discussion of Class 6 Polity. And today we will be dealing with Chapter 4 of the NCERT Class 6 Polity, and the Chapter 4 deals with key elements of democratic government. Okay, in the previous class we discussed about what is government. Okay, we discussed about what is government, types, levels, forms, and their functions. Those are the topics we discussed. If you want to listen to that class, you can click on the link given below. And now today we'll be discussing about a type of government, that is democracy. In yesterday's class we had a brief discussion about democracy, that is what does democracy means. So in democracy, it is a form of government in which the representatives are selected by or elected by the people of the country. So if the members who represent the people are elected by the people, then it is called as democratic government. Now we will understand elements of democratic government. What are the key elements of democratic government? So the democratic government, the chief or key element or the chief characteristic of democratic government is that it is by the people, for the people, of the people. So the role of people is very high here. The people play an important role in the proper functioning of democratic government, which includes elections as well as working and decision making responsibility of the government. Okay, so the people of the country or people of a democratic country are involved in choosing a democratic government, and they also play a role in functioning of working government. They also includes participating in elections. They also include in decision making of governments. So they have a say in everything. That is why it is called as of the people, by the people, for the people. So, and then the key elements of democracy are, first and foremost is elections. Okay, what is election? It is a method or it is a mechanism of choosing your representatives. So in democracy, people cast their votes to elect their representatives, who then take the decisions on the behalf of people. This government is elected for a period of 5 years in India. Okay, so elections are a means to choose your representatives. The term of the government, it may vary from different country to country. In India, according to our constitution, the term of the government is 5 years. Once you are elected, as long as you command a majority, you are going to rule the country for 5 years. Whereas in America, the term is 4 years. You are going to choose the president there. Once the president is elected, he is going to rule, or his government is going to rule for the term of 4 years. The term differs from different countries. And then social movements. Okay, what are the social movements? Not all the individuals in the country used to have voting rights, so there were discriminations because of the influence of stereotype and prejudices. So because of those discriminations, certain sections of the society were discriminated by the higher sections of the society, and higher sections used to have the votes, lower sections didn't have the rights to vote. So in order to gain these rights, in order to fight for these rights, there were social movements. The people express their views in many ways, like dhammas, strikes, rallies, or signature campaigns. Okay, if they have any criticism of the government, if they are dissatisfied with the government, or if they are fighting for their particular rights, these movements are called as social movements. Initially, these movements, most famous of these social movements can be, okay, most famous of the social movements can be regarded as racial movements. Okay, racial movements where people belong to the races. Okay, people belonging to black races or brown races fought against the white supremacy. Best example here is Nelson Mandela's fight against apartheid, or you can also talk about Martin Luther King Jr.'s fight against fight for the civil rights in USA. These are racial movements. What are the other such movements? We can also talk about casteist movements or caste movements. Okay, caste movements. One of the major caste movements or the major leader is B.R. Ambedkar, and some other are Jyotiba Phule, Okay, and there are other justice such as justice movement in South India led by E.V. Ramaswamy Naikar. These are all certain social movements who fought for the rights of the particular society. And other things we can also talk about. We can also talk about feminist movements. Okay, we can also talk about feminist movements. These feminist movements fought for the right of women, right of female to have the equal footing with the men or male. Examples in the 18th century, this was led by Simone de Beauvoir, okay, or Virginia Woolf. So these are certain movements. The purpose of the movement is to fight for a particular injustice or fight for their rights. Okay, these were the original movements. But right now, in the present context of democracy, what we do is, if we are dissatisfied with the government, if we are not happy with the way government is working, then we have the social movements where we express our criticisms. Examples: activists of the Bharatiya Kisan Union staged a demonstration at the mini secretariat to protest against the power shortage during the paddy transplantation season. So these are certain ways of how you are going to show your dissatisfaction with the, or expressing your dissatisfaction with the government. Okay, and then another key element of democracy is recognition to minority. Okay, what is democracy? Democracy, or in a parliamentary democracy, the who enjoys power, the power is enjoyed by the people who are elected. Okay, most of the times who are getting elected, the election is based on the majority. If you achieve 50% of majority in votings, then you are considered as a winner of the election. If you enjoy 50% of the majority in the parliament, you are going to form the government. So you can see the pattern here. So there is the democracy, there is every chance that majority might have upper hand. Okay, in such cases where electoral outcome depends on the majority numbers, can have the implications or can have the discriminations against the minority community. So in order to provide kind of safety or safeguards for the minority, there are certain provisions which are included in the parliamentary democracies, such as in the democratic elections, the characters of the government of the country would be stronger if the minority people, such as Dalits, Adivasis, women, participate in the process of government. The minority communities and Adivasis participated in the working of the government by demanding the inclusion of Santali language in Constitution of India. So a democracy is only as strong as its people. If the society is harmonious, then the government will also be harmonious. If there are issues, if there are breaks if there are cracks within the society, then it will have implications on the government also. So democracy is strong if the society or if the minority are given equal footing against the majority. That is why in elections in India, especially in India, all the people belonging to all the communities, religion have equal right to vote. Okay, one person, and they have the value of one right. So this is how even the minority are included. And what is the role of government in a democracy? The role of government is maintaining the welfare of the people, providing the welfare of the people, maintaining the public order, making the rules and procedures, making the policies, defending the country from outside influence. Okay, and then promoting the welfare of the people as well as welfare of the country. Okay, these are all the role of people. Here what they are trying to say is, if a religious procession and the celebrations lead to conflict, the government, particularly the police, play important role in getting the representatives of the concerned community to meet and try and arrive at a solutions. So this is nothing but functions of democracy is dispute resolution. Okay, whenever there is a disputes arising, the resolution is done by the government. That government here is democratic government. And other elements of democratic government is equality and justice. The democracy or the principles of democracy are based on the principles of equality. That is, in India, this equality is provided under Article 14 to 18 under right to equality. Okay, there are certain exceptions in the right to equality, such as reservations or affirmative actions, and for the women, religious minority, etc., etc. But the core idea here is to promote equality. Okay, this is prevalent or can be seen in elections where each individual has a right to vote. So there is equality and there is justice. In Indian government or Indian democracy, there is justice, meaning each individual, irrespective of his birth conditions. Okay, if he belongs to minority, if he is from different community, if he is a poor, if he is rich, every individuals in India have the right to justice. Okay, every individuals in India can ask for the justice or can demand the justice in India. So there is a judiciary or the court system which helps in providing the justice. Okay, so the key idea of democratic government is the commitment to equality and justice. The minority communities were denied of many facilities in the initial days. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar realized that such practices must not continue and justice can be achieved only if the people are treated equally. Okay, so these are the key elements of democracy. Now to sum it up, what are the democracy or democratic elements? First and foremost is equality. Equality in India is provided under Article 14 till Article 18, and justice. Justice is like harmonious interaction between different communities, and justice is punishing the criminal, and providing closure to the victims. Okay, this is justice. And in elections, it should be such that it should be free and fair. Okay, it is not like that you can have the right to vote only if you pay certain amount. If you pay 1,000 rupees, then you have the right to vote. It doesn't mean it is a free election. Okay, so for an election or a democracy to work properly, the election should be free and it should be fair. Fair in the sense there should be no illegal activities happening. No person shall be pressurized. No person shall be pushed, or no person shall be influenced through the power of money to vote for a certain community, a certain person. Okay, it should be free and it should be fair. And then the democratic government has the respect for human rights. Okay, respect towards human rights. Whenever there is a violation of human rights, then those kind of activities, those kind of actions, or those kind of traditions, customs, etc. has to be done away with. Okay, for example, in the medieval India, there was a practice called as, many know this practice, that is sati. Okay, this sati was inhuman. Okay, just because the husband is dead, it doesn't mean that the woman or the wife should also be burnt along with him. Okay, that was very inhuman. This practice was done away in the post independence India. Okay, any activity which is inhuman. And another example is untouchability. This was also very inhuman. That is considering a person untouchable, that is in itself is inhuman. Okay, that is why this was also abolished. This was abolished under Article 17, and its practice in any form is punishable by it is an offense punishable. Okay, and in freedom. In democracy, each individual has a freedom to live as he wishes, and he has certain freedoms, but these freedoms, they also come with certain restrictions. Okay, the right to freedom or the ability to have freedom doesn't mean that you go on restricting or you go on infringing the rights of others. Okay, the freedom you express or the freedom you enjoy, it should be such a way that it shouldn't restrict or infringe on the freedom of others. Okay, the freedom in India are provided under Article 19 to 22. Okay, Article 19 to 20, actually from 21 to 24, 23, it is again 24, it is again about like right to life and other things. From articles to freedom of right is 19 and 20, 19 to 20. That is Article 19 talks about freedom, certain freedoms, such as Article 19 talks of freedom, that is freedom to speech and expression, freedom to form assembly, freedom to form associations and cooperation, freedom to form assembly without arms, and right to move anywhere in country, and the right to assemble anywhere, right to reside at anywhere country, and the freedom to practice any profession, etc., which he wishes. And Article 19 deals about rights against ex post facto laws, right against double jeopardy, etc., etc. So these freedoms are provided with constitution. However, these freedoms come with certain restrictions, okay, such that the expression of your freedom of speech and expression should not lead to violation of public order. It should not lead to violation of security of the country. It should not be against sovereignty and integrity of the country. So there are certain restrictions. However, in the namesake or in the reality, freedoms are provided, and these are certain key elements of democracy. Okay, now moving to an example how certain social movements were practiced so that the people enjoy democracy. The example given here is about South Africa. So in India we have stratification in the society based on caste system. Okay, caste system with Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudras, and then untouchables. Okay, this is how the Indian society was stratified from the ancient time, and it is even followed now under the different names, that is jatis. Okay, but whereas in South Africa it was based on the race. What is race? A race is dividing the communities. Race is dividing the communities or population based on the skin color. Okay, skin color. So in South Africa there were whites, blacks, browns, Indians and mixed. Okay, this is how the community were stratified in South Africa, with whites at the top and rest of them were discriminated by the whites. Okay, so the country was governed by apartheid laws. The apartheid means separation of on the basis of race. So there were certain laws and regulations which separated the whites from black, which kept the whites at the top and blacks at the bottom. South African people were divided into white, black, Indian, colored races. Apartheid laws prevented them from getting mixed with each other. So non-white had to face several distinctions or discriminations. They were not allowed to vote. Neither they availed the other basic rights. Okay, there were certain, okay, if you see certain images of apartheid system, there are certain signboards that said that no dogs, no blacks, no Indians are allowed. Okay, this is the form of inhuman practices which are followed during the apartheid system. Hence, the African National Congress started the struggle against apartheid system under the leadership of Nelson Mandela. How Indian National Congress was started by Indians and it was led by Mahatma Gandhi ji. Similarly, there was the African National Congress which was led by Nelson Mandela. And Nelson Mandela fought for several years and he was imprisoned also. But finally, in 1994, country became democratic and all the people belonging to different races were pro and equal, and they were given equal opportunities to have the right to vote. So there are fixed periods of governments. Okay, this is about Nelson Mandela, and the social movement here is led by Nelson Mandela, and the result was about democratic government. Okay, this was the example how people had to fight for their right to vote. Okay, how the people had to fight for the government to become democratic. Okay, so then this is already explained, that is people participate in taking interest in the working of the government by criticizing when required by through help of social movements, and then people express their views of the government by dharnas, rallies, strikes, etc. People also participate by organizing themselves into social movements and seek to challenge the government and its functioning. Okay, it is the logic behind organizing social movements is that compared to an individual, a group of individuals have a more bargaining power. Okay, they have more bargaining power, and then government plays a major role in resolving the conflicts if they occur among the people of different cultures, religions and regions. Okay, these are all the certain extra things given here. Okay, so key elements I already explained. So this is about today's discussion. Okay, if you have any doubts regarding this chapter, please write in the comment box. If you have any suggestions for me, you can also write that one, and anything more you can write in the comment box. We will be continuing the series. If you like the video, please like it, comment on it, and also share with your friends, and also subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any notification from the channel. With this, I will end the video. Jai Hind.